Hey everyone, Ben here with an absolute cracker from Silverstone. We're lining up in P3 in the Super Formula lights for a 20-minute fixed setup race, and as you can see we're already underway. We get a good start and I'm challenging for the lead into T1, but I actually get blocked off by pole sitter Jack White, who had a slower start than I did. It meant that I had to get off the gas heading into the corner, and it's allowed Anton Shirokov through and into the lead of this race. Already I've got a little bit of a gap building to the cars behind. It looks as if this is going to be a three-way fight for the win from the start to the very finish. But for now, I've just got my eyes peeled for what's going on up ahead of me, because already Jack White is trying to get back alongside Anton Shirokov. There's not room there for both cars to go through the left-hander. I'm going to try a wide entry here into the long right-hander and just try and get a better exit so I can challenge Jack White before we get to Copse. Am I going to be able to make it all the way alongside? Well, I'm certainly closing in here at a rate of knots. I'm going to pull to the inside. I'm going to try and spook him into pulling out of this corner. I've got to keep it tight to the apex, but unfortunately he held his nerve around the outside. Thankfully, we didn't come together. Brilliant racing already on lap 1 here. I'm really concerned that Anton Shirokov does not get away from us here as we're coming through Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. I also was concerned about running too close to the cars up ahead. I was maybe just a bit conservative there. Where I wasn't conservative was challenging through Copse here. You can see us side by side on entry. I did hold the car tight, and although there's accidents behind us, thankfully both White and myself got through unscathed. And as we rejoin the live action on lap 3, Jack White still piling the pressure on Anton Shirokov up ahead for the lead of this race. I am just about hanging on within a second of the lead 2 drivers here, but something's going to happen here. They're pushing so hard through this final section of lap 3 as we get ready to get onto lap 4. I've closed the gap right the way in now to just half a second from Jack White and less than a second off the lead of this race as we start the next lap here. And really it's only now that I'm beginning to get comfortable in the car. The tyres feel like they're up to temperature, the brakes feel like they're up to temperature, and I'm able to push just a little bit harder here. But Anton Shirokov pushing too hard. He locks up into the right-hander, and as we get into this very tight complex of corners, it looks as if he's going to lose the lead of this race. Jack White seems to be ahead on the exit, although they are side by side here, and I've just got a watching brief about 0.3 seconds back here, making sure I don't get collected if these two come together. They're still side by side as we head into the middle section of the lap, but Jack White has got that move done. I'm now going to try and capitalise here again. Wide entry into the corner, trying to accelerate early on exit and get more speed as we head towards Copse. You can see Shirokov there cutting a section of the track. I don't know if you get a slowdown penalty for doing that. I'm closing right in here on his rear wing, but I'm not close enough. But up ahead, Jack White has a massive moment on the exit of the corner, and he's right the way off onto the runoff area. Potentially, we're going to see another change for the lead here. Did Jack White get a slowdown penalty there? Well, I'm not sure. We are going to find out quite quickly as we get onto the hanger straight. Will he slow down to be able to pay that slowdown? Yes, he does. And both myself and Shirokov are going to get through and up into P1 and P2 respectively. And I'm right underneath the rear wing of Shirokov here. I've got a huge chance of challenging for the win. Jack White is going to find it very difficult to get back into contention now, providing we hold our pace and we don't slow each other down. At the moment, that does look a possibility, because I think we're going to be engaged in a direct fight very, very soon here as we cross the line to begin lap 5. I'm just 0.3 seconds behind Shirokov, who is in the lead of this race. We try and carry as much speed as I can through T1. They're very nearly running out wide on exit. I am super close here, just not close enough though to get alongside in the braking zone. And again, Shirokov's locked up. We are unbelievably close to making contact there through the middle part of the corner. Unfortunately, that then meant I was slow through the second corner. I couldn't get on the gas early enough to make a move on the exit, but I'm still piling the pressure on here. Shirokov will have to go defensive into the left-hander here. We're going to be side by side, but he's able to carry more speed through. I just couldn't risk drifting out wide there. I'm trying again to take a later apex through the right-hander there, but unfortunately I'm not able to keep the pressure on in this instance. Shirokov leads, and we live to fight another day there in this race. I'm going to try and keep the pressure on through the remainder of this lap if I can. Again, taking quite an aggressive turn in there into Cops. You can see I just have to adjust the car through the exit there so that I didn't lose the back end, but I'm trying to carry as much speed as I can through some of these corners, and you can see I'm actually tighter to the apex than Shirokov up ahead. Maybe that's going to give me a chance on exit and down the hanger straight. Well, I've certainly gotten through Maggots and Beckett's much faster than he did, and look at the overspeed I've got in the slipstream. I'm going to peel out to the racing line to try and get around his outside here in the final sector of the lap. We're side by side through the long right-hander. He gives me space on the outside. That's going to provide me with the inside for this final complex here, but I'm going to have a compromised entry. I've got to leave him space on the outside. He's now got the inside for the final corner. This is epic racing between the two of us here, and he just about leaves me room on the runoff area. We're still side by side heading on to lap 6, but he's got the high ground into T1. I really didn't want to challenge around the outside there and end up off the track, but what a battle that was. Let's take a look at it from just a quick off-board camera. You can see the respect that we each showed one another there. Neither of us squeezing each other unnecessarily. I was a bit fortunate that I think I saw him coming on the inside, that I took a little bit more of the curb, but all in all, fantastic racing. Annoyingly, I'm still stuck in P2 and Shirokov held on to P1, but this is all to play for in the final stages of this race. And as we rejoin on lap 7, the gap still under 1 second, and I'm just gearing up here to have a final challenge when up ahead I see Shirokov running very wide. Now I don't know at this stage in the cockpit, does he have a slowdown penalty or was that just a 1x? But I'm going to find out quite soon as we come through the final corner, ready to start lap 8. Will he start slowing down to try and spend that penalty? You're not able to do it through some of the slower sections, and I am gaining here really quite rapidly, and yes, look at that, within half a second now. Can I carry this momentum into the right-hander? Oh, he squeezes me to the inside. He just about makes a legal defensive move there. That fell quite late in the cockpit, very nearly ran into the rear wing, but look at that, he's gone wide on exit there. I'm gonna have the momentum, he can't take the apex. Can I now hold the position as I'm up into the lead of this race? You can see I've got more momentum coming out of the corner, but I'm going to have to immediately go defensive into the next section of racetrack here. Try and hold the apex so he can't cut back underneath me, and again try and carry as much speed as I can onto the long straight here that follows. And it looks like at the moment at least I've been able to do that, although Shirokov still just 0.2 seconds behind, and you can see in the mirror he's coming again. He will challenge surely into Cop's corner. Can I now hold my nerve like Jack White did around the outside? Yes I can. I get a big snap of oversteer, but that could be a decisive move in this race, particularly because over the next couple of laps actually that man Jack White was fighting his way back into contention, and he and Shirokov would start fighting an absolutely epic battle for P2, and all the while that let me scamper off just a little bit into the distance. Now Jack White has actually taken Shirokov here later on this lap, and then a crucial moment, they'd come together towards the end of the lap. Both drivers would pick up serious damage. Jack White would actually retire from the race, and that meant on lap 11, the final lap of this race, I would take a victory, and actually in the end a comfortable victory. But there was nothing comfortable about that race. That was a really intense battle, virtually from lights to flag, and wow, a very unusual P1 for me. That was outstanding. Massive compliments to Anton Shirokov and to Jack White as well. They were really good fun to race with, and actually although they came together, they did have a pretty good chat after the race. There was no animosity there. But I hope you've enjoyed watching this race. If you have, then I think you'll really enjoy the race that's up on screen too. I'll see you on the next one.